Accused takes the stand. A Windsor police officer recalls his version of events in a sexual assault trial. Demolition delayed.
That's a lot of money just to preserve the birds.
The cost of protecting a threatened species. And shops at Heritage.
We're so excited to finally be the day we're breaking ground, and hopefully in less than a year we will be cutting a ribbon.
A multi-million-dollar commercial development, the largest one in LaSalle ever, now underway.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us, and hello to those listening to us on AM 800. A Windsor police officer on trial for sexual assault is denying all allegations. Staff Sergeant Ken Price is facing 4 counts involving a member of the police auxiliary and says the claims, quote, never happened. Joining us with the latest from court today is CTV's Michelle Molosky. Michelle.
Stefanie, over the first 3 days of evidence, the female complainant told the court Price's actions started as inappropriate comments and escalated to unwanted physical contact. Today, Price says none of that happened. The woman, who cannot be identified because of a standard publication ban, accused Price of dry humping her in a training scenario or forcing her to touch his groin, even grabbing her buttocks. All the alleged incidents occurred at different times between 2011 and 2015, when the woman was a member of the police auxiliary. Today, in his own defense, Price said none of those events happened and that he knew of the woman, but very little else about her. Price told the court he and the woman were both actors in role-playing scenarios, but he vehemently denied that he ever treated the woman inappropriately during those training sessions. The only thing the officer admitted to doing was referring to her by a nickname others in the force used to refer to the complainant. The nickname is not offensive, but reporting it would identify the complainant. I also want to make a correction here. Yesterday, I incorrectly quoted the complainant. She told the court at one point Price was punching her during a certain scenario. He wasn't dry humping her at that time. That alleged action, she says, was on a totally different occasion. The prosecution is nearly done now with their cross-examination of Price. Closing arguments are expected tomorrow. Stefanie?
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Michelle Molosky with our top story tonight. Thank you, Michelle. The sentencing for a Toronto area transport truck driver has been rescheduled for this fall. It's in relation to this fatal accident on September 23rd of 2022 on Highway 401 near Bell River Road. 2 members of the same family died after their vehicle was struck from behind by a transport truck. Lovepreet Singh, now 29 years old, has been on trial for dangerous driving causing death in Superior Court, but he pled guilty to the lesser charge of careless driving causing death in Ontario Court. It means the maximum penalty he could now face is 2 years less a day in jail and a $50,000 fine versus a life sentence in prison. Singh will now face a sentencing hearing in October. Nearly 40 seasonal and part-time workers have been let go by the City of Windsor. Join me now with why this is all happening, CTV's Travis Fortnum. Now, Travis, what kind of roles are being affected by this?
Stefanie, the union says mostly part-time caretakers, mostly working in arenas, community centers, and outdoor rinks. CUPE Local 82 says the 38 seasonal employees were let go last week, and the 8 remaining full-time staff are now stretched thin. Union President Rob Colloidy says the workers made about $19.50 an hour and were often responsible for cleaning and maintaining city facilities. He says the union asked for job protection language during contract talks, requesting that seasonal employees not continue working if full-time roles were eliminated, but no deal was struck. Colloidy says residents are already seeing the impact of those layoffs.
The facilities just are not as clean as they were. People are paying money to rent the facilities. I had a caretaker yesterday asking me, I've been given a task for the weekend on a particular day, and there's no way possible that I can get this done. What happens to me? Now they're in fear that they potentially could be disciplined, and obviously that's not the case. We also have the outdoor arenas that this group work in. So with a new outdoor arena set to open this year, I don't know what the impacts are of that and who's going to run them.
In a statement, the city says they're unable to provide comment as this matter pertains to human resources. Stefanie.
Okay, thank you for this, Travis. Meanwhile, workers at Vets Cab have voted overwhelmingly in favor of strike action to back contract demands. Unifor Local 195 president says, who represents the workers, says workers voted 96.5% in favor of strike action at the meeting Tuesday night. The union president, Emil Nabout, says there are roughly 300 Vets Cab drivers in the city. He would not disclose what the key issues are in the talks, but says there are many challenges, including competition from Uber, Lyft, and others in the taxi industry. Nabout says going out on strike will be a last resort. CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joins us now from the Weather Center. And Julie, it's looking clear overnight.
Yeah, Stephanie, over the next couple of hours, just a 30% chance of a pop-up thunderstorm. But as soon as we hit 8 o'clock, skies will be mainly clear and clear conditions overnight. It's extremely humid. Daytime highs across Essex County today in the upper 20s, hitting 30 degrees. Humidex, talking about some warm air you can wear. 35, feeling like 37 in Essex County. So if you are heading out for a late evening walk, expect some warm conditions. There has been some active weather stateside along a stationary boundary and a few pop-up scattered showers and thunderstorms, but it looks like we are in the clear. Temperature-wise, 22 degrees holding by midnight with that wind out of the southwest. I'll take you through the extended forecast. The heat rolling in and high humidity over the next 7. I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
So far this year, the health unit has issued one warning for high E. coli levels at Colchester Beach. Last year, there were 5 warnings and 1 closure, and that has the mayor of Essex asking for more information. The Windsor-Essex County Health Unit takes water samples from area beaches on Wednesdays and posts the results on Fridays, announcing at that time whether the beach is open, has a warning, or is being closed. Sherry Bondi made a motion Monday night to ask WECHU if the source of E. coli in the water can be determined. She wants to know if water quality is being affected by something in her own backyard, or is it coming from the States? Bondi tells AM 800 it's not acceptable to go down to the beach and then find out that there's a warning or a beach closure and now you can't swim. She wants to open discussions with different levels of government.
Bring some scientists on board, really see, can we hone in more on what is in the water and try to find the sources rather than just putting up a sign and walking away and say the beach is closed. I don't want our beaches to be closed. I want all of our beaches to be open, and I want them to be safe.
A massive $200 million development is officially underway in LaSalle. It's the biggest the town has ever seen in sheer dollar value. As our Bob Belichico tells us, the developer believes the project can stay on budget despite the U.S.-launched trade war and will prove a major boost for the local economy.
So excited to finally be the day we're breaking ground, and hopefully in less than a year we will be cutting a ribbon.
LaSalle Mayor Crystal Malash and members of council were beaming with excitement at the official groundbreaking ceremony for the town's largest ever commercial project.
We're seeing so many different things coming to the site. There's a possibility of the hotel, there's a possibility of a gas bar, there's grocery stores, there's banking, there's shoppers, there's restaurants, you name it. It'll all be here.
The Demore Group and Petretta Construction have partnered on the $200 million commercial development near the Windsor Crossing Outlet Mall. Work will be spaced out over 2 phases.
You're going to see a couple of things hopefully open before the end of the year, but the majority of the things here in, I'll call it Phase 1A, will be open in spring of next year. When the Shops at Heritage phase is complete, Demore says this will be the crown jewel of the 280-acre development. Now, the 24-acre site that I'm standing on right now will house over 250,000 square feet of commercial and hospitality space and create over 400 jobs. And that's not to mention the hundreds of jobs already created to get this vision off the ground. It truly is the type of project that I think transforms a community.
The town's first McDonald's is set to be an early addition, with Food Basics, Dollarama, Taco Bell, Pet Value, and Shoppers Drug Mart also committing to the development, and others waiting in the wings.
We just are going through that Howard Bouffard secondary plan where we're going to see the town grow by another 20,000+ people, and this location is very close to where that development will be, so that'll provide those residents with groceries and food options closer to home.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
The municipality of Leamington is legally required to build a new habitat for a threatened bird species before it can continue with the demolition of the former high school. But while council is moving forward with the recommendation, some officials are voicing frustration not about the birds, but what they see as the province's misplaced priorities. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us tonight with more on this. Chris.
Stefanie, I'm in Leamington, where a 56-foot tall chimney at the old high school will soon be replaced, not for its historical value, but to accommodate birds. The town is under strict federal and provincial orders to build a new habitat for chimney swifts, a threatened migratory bird that has been nesting in the school's chimney before that aging building comes down. The chimney on the former Leamington District Secondary School has been identified as an active nesting and roosting site for chimney swifts, a species protected under both provincial and federal law. The town wants to redevelop the property for housing, but can't until a new habitat for the birds is built.
When you're weighing the importance of creating habitat for migratory birds or housing individuals who need a place over a roof over their heads, in my estimation, human housing is more important.
The town capped the chimney in April ahead of nesting season after getting an emergency permit from Environment and Climate Change Canada. Now, Leamington must construct 3 new habitat towers, including one that matches the original chimney's height and interior space. The project, including a 17-meter main tower, benches, native plants, and educational signs, is expected to cost upwards of $640,000.
You could build a pretty nice home. You could house some people who are facing housing precariousness and with an expenditure like that. And here we are building a place for birds.
How many people do we have that are endangered sleeping on the streets that need housing, and we can't get that done?
Council members reluctantly approved the plan Tuesday night, pointing out they're not against conservation, but they're concerned about priorities.
I just can't see spending 2% tax increase on this, so I'm not going to be in favor of it, but we have to do it.
We have to do it. We're plugging our noses before we do it.
According to Ontario's Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks, the chimney swift has been listed as threatened in the province since 2009 and is not endangered, but is likely to become endangered if steps are not taken to address factors threatening to lead to its extinction or extirpation. According to town administration, the swift habitat must be built by the end of this year to avoid fines of up to $1 million and to move forward with demolishing the old school.
That's a lot of money just to preserve the birds.
I think it is a waste of money for a bunch of birds.
Some folks in town are chirped about the price tag and priorities.
That's crazy to spend my money on that for birds. Come on. It's better to spend it on the homeless, at least help somebody out. Somebody or something, anything.
Leamington plans to build the new swift habitat along a municipal trail not far from the school site. Once completed, the area will be monitored for up to 5 years to see if the chimney swifts actually start using the new towers. Stefanie?
Okay, big project there. Chris Campbell tonight. Thank you, Chris. This takes us to our question of the day. Who do you think should be responsible for costs related to nesting habitats? The province, the municipality, or the property owner? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you would use a green bin. Out of almost 800 votes, 64% say no, they won't use one. The Windsor Fire Chief says there has been some improvement in the number of people having backyard fires, but some residents are still getting hit with a hefty bill. As of February of this year, open burns are forbidden in the city without prior approval from the city. The penalty, if caught, starts at $570 per hour per piece of apparatus that responds to the call, plus administration fees and taxes. These costs are associated with taking fire trucks and crews away from other incidents like fires, medical emergencies, or collisions. Chief Jamie Waffle says crews have responded to 159 open burns so far this year, and warnings are no longer being issued.
Cooking devices only, natural gas, propane appliances, things like that, those are permitted. No open burning, no backyard fire pits anymore, no wood, no debris, no grass, no leaves, right? That is not permitted.
Dozens of kids with special needs are working on gaining their independence thanks to specialized bicycles and kind minds from the community.
I'm learning how to ride a bike.
10-year-old Zayn Haliji was diagnosed with high-functioning autism at 18 months old.
I was kind of struggling, but I got the hang of it.
Thanks to these specialty bikes, he's working on gaining his independence at the I Can Bike camp by the charity Kind Minds.
So the kids start on these trainers. They're rainbow trainers, so they use this bevel in the back, so it gives them the feel of a two-wheel bike in the back. And psychologically in the front, they see a two-wheel bike as.
Throughout the 5-day camp, that bevel will get smaller.
So they have a little bit more wobble to them as they go. And as they start to get faster on those and steering better, then they'll move on to one of the two-wheel bikes with just a handle on it here.
Also supporting them, volunteers like Lily Gilbert.
You make such a personal connection with them. I remember some kids from the last time I volunteered, even still to this day, and I still think about them because you make such a connection with them.
Dedicating time that will change these kids' lives.
Well, so all of our riders actually have an intellectual or a minor physical disability, and so for them, sometimes they may never be able to drive a car when they get older, and so this may be their only form of independent transportation.
It's so fun. I can finally go bike with my friends.
The most important thing Zayn is taking home.
You always have to wear a helmet so you don't split your head open.
If you are a fan of online auctions, LaSalle Police is getting ready to have one. On the block, mostly bicycles, tools, and some electronics. Runs from July 21st through August 4th. You can find the details at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Just 11 days to a crucial tariff deadline, and even more trade threats could be looming from Trump. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, can a deal be made? Prep push. Later, a local high school steps up its game, launching a new prep basketball program with big ambitions. And a greener goodbye. Tomorrow, a new end-of-life option coming to the area, one that uses water instead of flames. It's called Aquamation. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. The death toll from flash flooding in central Texas is now confirmed at 120, and that number is expected to keep rising. 161 people are still missing in the hardest hit area of Kerr County, including 5 girls and a counselor from a summer camp. Meanwhile, 3 people have died after flash floods hit New Mexico on Tuesday. According to the National Weather Service, floods killed an average of 113 people per year in the U.S. over the past decade, accounting for nearly 1/6 of all weather-related deaths. A shocking turn of events for a small community in rural eastern Ontario. A 17-year-old is accused of assaulting an 8-year-old girl with injuries so severe, police originally believed the child was attacked by an animal. CTV's Katie Griffin is in Quadville, where people are trying to come to terms with the horrific nature of the crime.
There is a lot of shock and sadness in this community today. It is a place where everyone knows everyone involved, and many say that makes this even harder. We've seen investigators going door to door speaking with residents after the news that a 17-year-old boy was charged with attempted murder and sexual assault with a weapon in connection with an attack on an 8-year-old girl. Residents say they're in disbelief.
Devastated, heartbroken. I don't know what else to say. It's shocking. I'm numb.
A lot of community members are, how can this happen in our community? And how do we understand that we can move forward and make it better for our community?
The girl had initially been reported missing the night of June 23rd and was found by the Ontario Provincial Police K-9 unit critically injured a few hours later. Her injuries were so bad, some in the town said it was a miracle she was even alive. Police initially suspected it might have been an animal attack, but didn't rule out human involvement. Yesterday, police announcing that samples taken from the victim's wounds revealed no traces of animal DNA.
Investigators can't pigeonhole or just totally tunnel vision an investigation. They have to look at all other aspects. So the investigation continued in many ways. One of them resulted in this 17-year-old being arrested this week and charged.
A lot of residents have expressed frustration with police, wanting to have been told more information sooner. Ontario Provincial Police say they recognize there are a lot of questions and concerns from the community, and they will be hosting a town hall on Saturday. Katie Griffin, CTV News, Quadville, Ontario.
Canada plans to fight back against Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on copper. The U.S. president is threatening the hit on August 1st. That leaves 11 days left to come up with a Canada-U.S. trade deal. CTV's Mike LeCouture on where negotiations stand.
The Canadian government is digging in on its vow to push back after the U.S. president announced the date for those copper tariffs late yesterday.
We'll fight against it, period.
A defiant declaration from Canada's industry minister talking about the threat of 50% tariffs on Canadian copper. While meeting the Vancouver Board of Trade, Melanie Joly said protecting jobs remains the government's focus in this trade war.
We denounce these illegal tariffs, and we think that they're a direct attack against our workers and now on in the copper industry, and so we'll fight against them.
While the fight continues on one front, negotiations also continue with the U.S. Today, the Foreign Affairs Minister said she believes a deal can get done before Canada's self-imposed deadline of July 21st.
This is an effort that we are putting all our weight behind. I will say that we are still hopeful that an agreement can be achieved indeed.
But what kind of agreement remains an open question for some trade experts.
We're talking about a full-bore renegotiation of the trade agreement, then I don't think anyone thinks that that can be done in the next 11 days.
It is a hugely asymmetrical relationship.
Deanna Horton should know. She helped negotiate the first North American Free Trade Agreement, and she believes Canada needs to buy some time to expand other trading partnerships.
For every effort that is being made on trade diversification is something that will have to be implemented as quickly as possible, but these things all take time.
It's part of why Minister Anand is in Malaysia right now, pushing to get a free trade deal with a bloc of 10 Southeast Asian nations. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Another challenge looms. Cuts could be coming as the Prime Minister orders a 7.5% spending reduction. As CTV's Abigail Beeman reports, ministers say it is possible, but not without consequences.
I have a simple rule: spend less, invest more.
A new promotional video from the Prime Minister addressing what everyone in Ottawa is talking about, the call for big savings.
I will balance our operational budget in 3 years. We'll spend what we need to with the money we already have.
But neither Mark Carney nor his ministers are talking specifics about potential chopping block targets, with a new goal to save $25 billion annually within the next 3 years.
I'm pretty thorough, and I do my homework, and I'm going to do that before I have this type of conversation.
That $25 billion is a very large number.
The president of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada wants to know more, worried about the possibility of cuts to jobs in Canada's meteorological service, warning of serious weather, for example, or food inspectors warning about food safety.
I'm really concerned that, it's not going to be just looking to find people through attrition. It's really going to cut deeply, and I think it really truly will affect service to Canadians.
So net,
the actual number of public servants might actually stay the same.
Sahir Khan of the Institute of Fiscal Studies and Democracy does not expect immediate mass layoffs or impacts to services. He says it's more about reallocation to the new government's new priorities.
You're going to see public servants kind of have to go where the money is. So if your area is kind of getting de-emphasized in defense, RCMP, other areas, CBSA are getting emphasized, the money and the jobs are going to go there.
The call to Cabinet to find savings only went out this week with an end of summer deadline. We'll have to wait until the fall budget to get some serious specifics. And even then, this budget may not tell the full story. It's likely to be a multi-year exercise. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Strength in the base metals sector helped Canada's main stock index climb higher. In Toronto, the TSX gained 110 points. In New York, the Dow added 192, while the Nasdaq is up 19. Our dollar gained a modest 0.05 On commodity markets, gold is up almost $5 an ounce, and oil fell $181 a barrel.
I basically can't walk. I can't move my arms. Like I can pick them up a little bit and touch like that.
Denied treatment. Coming up, a former firefighter living with debilitating effects of Lyme disease, now turning to Mexico for treatment. He can't get here at home.
Temperatures rising and the humidity feeling like the mid to upper 30s as we head into the weekend. A great photo from Leamington. Thank you so much, Jerry, for sending this one in. A great way to cool off. We'll be looking for ways to cool off in the extended forecast as temperatures will average well above normal. We are settling into some summer heat.
A mix of sun and clouds. Julie joins us again for an extended look at the weather.
Thanks so much, Stefanie. This forecast will be one for summer heat lovers. In terms of our day-to-day high temperatures, we'll be approaching 30 each day. We're talking humidex in the mid to upper 30s. Now, I know for folks who work outdoors, this can be a time of year where it's definitely difficult. You need to take lots of breaks, find shady spots, and this forecast is delivering in terms of if you're on vacation or you have a pool or a sprinkler to get to, you'll need it. 30 degrees our high today, 19 degrees our low, coming in well above normal for this time of year. Our overnight low especially coming up a bit. You'll notice that muggy feel. We've had a few spotty showers and thunderstorms stateside. Other than that, Essex County, just a few fair weather clouds. There have been a few isolated pop-up, very isolated showers, and they're the kind of showers that if you're not on that road, you didn't see anything at all. So as we push through the evening, the probability of showers drops at 8 o'clock. Down to about a 10% chance, so just over the next couple of hours. Now, as we take a look at the satellite radar tonight, the only thing really to focus on is this stationary boundary, and what happens is they wave north, they wave south, and they generate instability. We have hot, humid conditions. We are under the influence of high pressure, and eventually this weather system will try and push in over the weekend, and that will bring the opportunity for a bit of light rainfall as we head into Saturday night. Coast to coast, it's been much cooler in Western Canada today. Yes, that's a 9-degree. Temperatures slowly starting to come up as we head through the day, but it's been cool after the passage of a cold front and some rainfall. Dealing with forest fire smoke again, low air quality, or rather poor air quality in through parts of northwestern Ontario. Now, I just wanted to show you the forest fire smoke. This is reading black carbon in the atmosphere, and you can really see it indicated over north and northwestern Ontario and parts of northern Manitoba. So that's the areas that are dealing with that poor air quality. As we look through our overnight temperature, 20 to 22 degrees across Essex County. Temperature-wise, it'll be warm, and expect some warm conditions to start your day. It'll be hot and humid heading into the afternoon. It once again will feel close to 40, so feeling like the upper 30s. Forecast high, it's going to be a warm one, so expect a daytime high 30 to 31. As we head out 24 hours, things get a little bit interesting in the extended forecast model because we have a little area that wants to come in Saturday morning. It looks like the bulk of that will fall apart as we head into the morning hours, but can't rule it out. So then through the day Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud, and then by Saturday evening, the chance for some showers popping up and thunderstorms. Anytime you get an air mass that's this hot and humid, creates instability in the atmosphere. So if you get any kind of trigger at all, yes, you get into some storm action, heavy rainfall. Because there's so much moisture in the air, it generates a lot of rain in a very short period of time. So there is the potential for some heavy downpours. 30 degrees as we head into your Friday. Sunshine is Saturday and 30 on Sunday with a 60% chance of showers. It looks like Saturday night into Sunday morning will pick up a bit of rainfall. But look how hot it is, 30 to 32. We have settled into some summer heat, 32 degrees heading into Wednesday, Thursday. If we see 31 to 32 for 2 to 3 days, then we are into a heat wave. So we are looking for some extreme heat to roll into the area as we head into early next week. Stefanie?
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
A former volunteer firefighter says he's forced to look beyond Canada's borders for treatment. Now relying on a wheelchair, he's been suffering from Lyme disease for years. As CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports, he couldn't get the right diagnosis at home.
Outside the Drumbo Fire Department is where Jason Hibbs spends much of his time.
Never even been on a plane yet.
He reminisces about his time there saving lives. These days, he's looking to get his own life back.
I started getting sick the one day. Just got a real high fever, lost control of my arms and my legs. Went into the hospital.
That was 6.5 years ago, and he underwent several tests.
They just thought it was ALS.
From there, he saw a specialist.
It's just been nonstop MRIs, CT scans, EMGs, and spinal taps, and everything just keeps coming back negative.
In that time, his symptoms have only worsened.
I basically can't walk, I can't move my arms. Like I can pick them up a little bit and touch like that. My legs start shaking like that. I can't eat on my own. My parents have to feed me, toileting and all that stuff, showering.
Co-workers and friends have also stepped up to help the 42-year-old.
Several of us on the fire department here, we take him to medical appointments.
I can help him put drinks in his hand, and I give him sips of his drink if he wants it.
While he's had a lot of help, Hibbs wants his independence back. That began with looking for answers. He connected with a doctor in Toronto who sent his blood work to doctors in Germany.
And it came back positive for Lyme disease, plus 4 variants that ticks can carry.
So he started looking for treatment options for Lyme disease, including antibiotics and going into a hyperbaric chamber. But he says the Toronto doctor got in trouble because those treatments went beyond Canada's standard of care.
I actually started regaining some control in my legs again. And then once when he got told to stop, his license was on the line for some stuff, so we had to kind of back off.
Dr. Elliot Jacobson, a medical doctor who helps treat chronic illnesses, is not involved in this case, but he acknowledges Canada trails other countries in Lyme disease diagnosis and treatment.
It's one of those areas of medicine where we have an incomplete sort of scientific, we don't have 100% evidence, and we rarely have 100% evidence.
Complicating matters further, Jacobson says Lyme disease symptoms can mimic other diseases.
There's certainly a lot of controversy around how accurate the testing for Lyme disease is based on the history of how those tests were made.
So after 6.5 years, Hibbs decided he's not waiting for more tests. He will fly to Mexico this weekend for a multi-week treatment plan, which is not permitted in Canada.
So the cost of treatment just for myself is $38,000 US. There's going to be stem cells, blood transfusions, hypothermia treatments, and then treatments where they induce a fever and stick me in this tube and heat it up.
Hibbs says he's sharing his story to raise awareness.
If it could happen to me, it can happen to anyone.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News.
And we want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or question? Text us at 10400. You can send photos as well.
Well, Hannah, what do we have coming up in the weather report?
We are going to tell you which A-list celeb accidentally fell asleep at a tennis match this week.
Oh, no. Stay tuned.
Multi-platinum classical group Il Divo returns to the Coliseum stage with their By Candlelight Tour Friday, October 10th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Il Divo at Caesars Windsor, plus a $250 gift card.
The Windsor Spitfires have signed their first-round draft pick. Forward John McLaughlin has drafted 21st overall by the Spitfires back in April. Now, the 15-year-old has signed the scholarship and development agreement to join the club. McLaughlin hails from Corunna, Ontario. He played for his hometown Lambton Junior Sting team for the past 3 seasons. A big move is coming to the hardwood as a local high school takes a shot at launching a prep basketball program. Academy St. Cecile Athletic Director Rob Service says the school is putting together a prep basketball team next month with plans to compete in both the U.S. and Canada. The 12-man team roster will be coached by former Lancer and OUA champion Greg Surbach, who was head of player development with the university men's basketball team last season. Academy St. Cecile has prep hockey and soccer and is looking to expand their offerings.
Another small piece in the big plan when you look at what we're trying to build here with the infrastructure and trying to become a big player in the prep sports scene here in the Midwest.
Turning now to the weekly weather report with Hannah Witherby from our sister radio station Virgin Radio and our own Melanie Kentner. Ladies, you have a new celebrity couple alert.
Canoodling with a new woman.
That's right. Sofia Vergara and him allegedly having a bit of a summer fling. Nothing serious. They are on a group vacation right now with a couple of other celebrity friends.
Ooh, and there's another celeb in particular who might be upset about it.
Kim Kardashian. She could be feeling some type of way because according to sources, Kim K has been trying to pursue Tom Brady since he and Giselle split, and he has been steering very clear of her and her whole family.
And speaking of sports and celebs, there have been lots of celebrity sightings at Wimbledon this week. One in particular has everyone talking.
That's right. It's not a real London event unless Hugh Grant makes an appearance. Only this time, Hugh Grant is going viral for falling asleep at the tennis match. Now, this is alleged. He is wearing sunglasses, so you can't tell 100%, but, all those chins, it looks like he's out like a light.
I think so. And from London to NYC, fans are pointing out a giant plot hole in the Sex and the City spinoff, and just like that.
Yeah, we are in the middle of season 3 right now, and in the most recent episode, one of the newer characters had her dad pass away.
My father died. Oh my God. When? This afternoon.
The problem is, this exact same character referenced her father's passing in season 1 of the show.
Oops. Well, maybe it was her stepdad.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Speaking of mistakes, we made one of our own this week. We incorrectly said the city's birthday celebration will be this Saturday.
That's right. It's not on Saturday. It is on Sunday at City Hall Square. It runs from 11 to 7 and coincides with the opening of the new event space that turns into an ice rink in the winter.
Yes, and it looks like we'll have a beautiful weekend for it. It's also going to be a free outdoor movie screening.
Y'all ready for this?
Meet Happy Gilmore.
Yes, Kingsville's got you covered for all things outdoor. They have a free screening of Happy Gilmore. That is tomorrow at Lakeside Park.
Well, I'll be bringing my folding chair. And I'll need it for the Windsor Symphony Orchestra Summer Concert Series as well.
Yes, the WSO just released their summer schedule today. First up, the Brass Quintet is going to have a free concert on Friday, July 18th at the Sculpture Garden, and that starts at 7 p.m.
And this weekend, the Greater Windsor Concert Band is performing.
Yes, for free at Reum Park. That is 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Should be great. Thanks, Hannah, and that's your weather report.
Unscripted, unpredictable, and unapologetic. Wake up with Hannah and Johnny on 93.9 Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Camp Day is coming on July the 16th. When you buy a Tim's coffee, 100% of proceeds are donated to Tim's Camps to help empower youth. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, we're heading back to LaSalle to talk more about an upcoming shopping plaza.
Stefanie, the shops at Heritage is not only going to have an impact on the town, but surrounding properties as well. Scott Demore, president of the Demore Group, says retailers may be more willing to come to LaSalle and Essex County after seeing companies like McDonald's, Metro, Taco Bell, and Shoppers Drug Mart commit to LaSalle. He says Shops at Heritage is booked up and companies are now looking at other sites in Essex County as a possibility.
I think you're going to see whether it's across the street and our neighbors at Windsor Crossing start to get more of a tenant mix, or whether you see it other places in Windsor, Essex County. I think the fact that people have now dug in and looked into Windsor, they're hopefully going to see, I believe they're going to see, that we got a market worth investing in.
We've got more details on the plaza at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have an online story, Melanie, that's going to make people very jealous.
Oh, yeah. We have 2 lottery winners in our area. A Blenheim woman is celebrating a $250,000 win with an instant crossword deluxe scratch ticket. Retiree Deborah Newton says it was a jaw-dropping moment when she found out, and she plans to buy a new car and do some renovations. The ticket was bought at Morning Calm convenience store in Blenheim. And a Leamington man also won. He won $70,000 with a Lotto Max ticket. You can see more about how he plans on spending it on our website. And in our social spotlight, remember the song Cotton Eye Joe? Guess what? The Swedish band Rednecks that made the 1994 hit is still performing. This is in Stockholm, and it looks like quite the party, Stefanie.
Yeah, it does. We should head out there for their next concert. It is a very, very catchy tune.
For sure. And when I saw the clip, I had no idea what they actually look like. So kind of cool.
I know. They do have their own kind of style. Okay, thank you, Melanie. And that's what's happening now.
If I can raise a bit of money by doing a little bit of something else, then why on earth wouldn't I?
Stitching in solidarity now to a powerful mission using tiny knitting needles to bring hope to war zones, one small Ukrainian flag at a time.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Julie joins us again for a final look at the forecast tonight. Julie.
Thanks so much, Stefanie. Heading into tomorrow, there is the risk of a pop-up shower and thunderstorm as we head into the afternoon. It'll feel like the upper 30s. The winds out of the south picking up as we move through the day. They'll be light and variable in the morning, generally out of the south, but by the afternoon from 25 to 30 kilometers per hour. That's a very warm breeze. Hot and humid conditions as we head into Saturday. The chance of nighttime rainfall. Possibility of some scattered showers on Sunday. Our Stiles heating and cooling forecast for your Monday, 30, 31 on Tuesday, under a mix of sun and cloud, and it is going to be extremely hot and humid next week with daytime highs anywhere from 31 to 32. That's a wrap tonight. I'll send things back to you.
Summer temperatures officially here and steady.
Yeah, the heat is coming, and the heat is coming at Queen's Park as well, Stefanie. The Ontario NDP is calling on and calling out the Ford government. Marit Stiles is addressing the government's takeover of 4 school boards. The province says it's required to shore up finances at those boards. There was some concern the Greater Essex County District School Board could join those ranks. Now, Stiles says the moves aren't evidence of mismanagement by trustees, but a lack of proper investment from the province. We'll look at those details and a lot more tonight at 11. Steph.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo. Now to an effort to make a big impact on the world with the help of tiny knitting needles. As Adam Sawatsky explains, Brigita's miniature projects have raised tens of thousands of dollars for people living in war zones, an experience she knows all too well.
To appreciate why Birgitta wears one particular pin wherever she goes.
And I have been knitting them now for 3 years.
We need to go back 80 years to the Second World War when Birgitta was awoken by a bang.
The bomb came and blew our windows out.
Before a large crowd gathered to gawk at the aftermath, little Birgitta and her brother were alone, facing flames rising from a hole in their bedroom floor.
And I said, I can't move, I can't move.
It was just fear. You were stuck with fear.
Absolutely stuck with fear.
Although her brother was just 2 years older, he ran to her rescue.
And so he held my hand and we walked out.
Birgitta lost her home that day and by the time she'd reached elementary school, had also lost both her parents.
You had difficulties and you just had to try and learn to cope with them.
Like when Birgitta was diagnosed with dyslexia.
But I've never been treated as if I was stupid.
Instead, the caring grandparents who raised her encouraged Birgitta to focus on her strengths.
And I could do knitting and sewing and stuff long before most of my friends could.
That support not only inspired Birgitta to pursue her passion professionally, it motivated a lifetime of volunteering to help others facing adversity.
Yeah, I don't like things that are not fair.
So, when she saw what was happening in Ukraine and thought of the girls experiencing war like she once did,
if I can raise a bit of money by doing a little bit of something else, then why on earth wouldn't I?
But Birgitta never imagined her little handmade flags would end up raising a lot of money for the Red Cross in Ukraine.
I think I must be pretty close to having raised $20,000.
And the 87-year-old has no plans to quit. Because like her big brother's bravery, like her grandparents' unconditional loving, Birgitta is determined to make a positive difference in the lives of others.
We all have things that we can do. It may not be something that's earth-shaking, but at least you've tried to do something.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
Very emotional. And Ricardo, there's many people living right here in our community that have similar experiences and understand what's going on overseas.
It's a powerful story that she's sharing, and I think as well another example of just how damaging war is. You know, the war can be over, but the pain doesn't stop. She's reflecting on that decades later, and you can still hear that fear and emotion in her voice. But like she does there, and like she says, you know, small acts can make a big difference, and we're seeing that here, and we see that in our community as well.
Okay, and a little bit of a gear switch here. Happy birthday.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm
yeah.
going to reveal your age to our viewers, but...
Yeah, I'm a 90, so there you go.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
Well, thank you for that, Steph, and thank you, of course, for watching. You can stay up to date over on our website, that's ctvnewswindsor.ca, and I'll see you again tonight for a late look at local news at 11.
Good night.